Hi, my name is Jackie Brown and welcome to No Limits. Today I'm talking about queer identity and disability and I'm joined by Jared and Felice. So I wanted to ask you what you think the difficult things about being queer and disabled are, and also what are the positives, what are the good things? Because often it's assumed that when you have a disability that you have no sexuality or that your sexuality is going to be straight. So how have you found it?
Well, first of all, you kind of need to come out as sexually interested or interesting, and then you have to say, I like girls, or I like boys, or I like both. And people are usually like, it's a big revelation that you even consider these things. So
Yeah, I think regardless of like what you are, you're kind of like expected to tell people that hey, I like sex, whereas maybe our able-bodied friends or counterparts don't actually have to do that. They don't have to come out and say, yes, I like sex.
Yeah.
I like boys, I like girls, whoever. It's just it's standard that people accept that. Whereas we have to not only come out as being gay, bi, whatever, we also have to come out as being sexually interested.
And I think that's one of the similarities between disability identity and queer identity is this whole thing of coming out, that both identities have to come out, and also that you have to develop a sense of pride in both those parts of who you are as well, like in disability pride and also in queer pride, and find a community and find people like the disability community and then the queer community that support that positive identity and those positive identities.
I think both of those communities kind of go together when you come out as disabled. I've found that my sexuality was also more enjoyable, I guess, and more, I was able to express myself more because I accepted my disability as well. Along the lines, does that make sense?
A little bit. Do you think, I don't know, my experience with being queer and disabled is that a lot of people think it's going to be easier because they think that the queer community is inherently radical in how it conceives bodies and conceives sexuality. And I've found it not to be the case. Like, I've been at a queer bar looking like a massive lesbian, and I've had people come up to me and go, you know you're at a queer bar. And I'm like, honey, do I look like I'm straight? And I often find that a lot of people think, oh, life would be easier for me because queer spaces are sex positive and that they're going to be welcoming towards disability and difference. And I've found that actually often they're quite conservative in the sense of being really radical around sexuality and power, and they're often pretty ableist in what they assume my sexuality is going to be like.
there's another step of education. It's like we're here, but you don't see us yet. So it's another step again to go. You can include us, or we'll include ourselves. I like going less party. I like starting the discussion.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that I've found that you've got to be the one to kind of take the initiative a lot of the time with people and feel positive and feel good about yourself to be able to get people to engage with you sexually or just positively around your identity.
Proactive.
Yeah.
we're not in the position to be the quiet ones. No one has ever made the first move.
Yeah, I think that can be empowering, but it also can be tiring as well to be the one that has to be upbeat and be humorous and be funny and kind of be the person holding the able-bodied person's hand through this whole kind of idea of their first sexual experience or their first relationship with someone with a non-normative body. And there is power in that, but it's also can get a bit repetitive and boring as well.
It's like our partners are like waiting for permission to like make a move.
Yeah. And we're going to have to wrap this conversation up now, but we'll be back after these messages.
"'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a carer who couldn't be bothered showing up despite being paid triple time and penalty rates. I'm Professor Canal-Whittle with my Christmas message that's going to be better than the Queen's. I mean, she's a boring old pompous windbag, and I'm a man. So it's Christmas time once more. And as we move into this Christmas holiday season, I wish to say to you, eggnog, 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 glug, 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 yes. Let me give you some presence of mind instead of spreading you materialism presents that, let's face it, you'll only use once and then throw into the toilet or an incinerator or an incinerated toilet. This is my present to you, dear viewer. Watch out for lazy carers and those present sharers who oft good-willed to all mankind. Just be sure to smile and say, "Bugger off, you patronising I'm not putting up with it." And watch out for those hoes. Don't get any STDs. Phoning home will be very expensive. So, Merry Christmas to all. Just not too merry, because you'll end up comatose in a gutter like I was last Christmas, trying to have it off with Rudolph. Merry Christmas, and to all a good night. I can read my book now.
Hi, welcome back to No Limits, and I'm joined by Adam and Con. Hi guys.
Hey Jax, how you going?
Pretty good, how are you?
It was good.
We're going to talk about where disability fits within the queer community, and I'm just wondering, as a gay couple, what have been your experiences of that?
Well, it's been hard for us within the community to get heard, basically. Yeah. And everyone has tried to stop us. So
It's interesting when we talk about a minority within a minority, and we talk about people with disabilities being asexual. So when you have two people that get together with disabilities, that's okay. When you have people one with a disability and one without, it's quite different. And we've kind of like quite outspoken in regards to our relationship, and especially the Pride March that we've been on, and been quite open. And sorry.
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. We've found that it's helped other individuals with disabilities form relationships and be open about their own sexuality and explore who they are. And
So would you say that there's ableism within the queer community, as in like there is still this perception that people with disabilities are going to be asexual, or that they aren't inherently part of the queer community even if they identify as queer? Like, is it hard going to queer spaces as a couple?
It's very hard, and I guess one of the examples is kind of your experiences of going into a nightclub.
Yeah, and being stopped by a door person because I'm underage.
No, well, you're not underage.
No, I'm overage, but they ask for ID. And it's very, like, amazing.
Yeah, I had an experience in Sydney. I went out to a lesbian night and I was at the door, and I've got CP, so sometimes it gets mistaken for being a little bit drunk when you're not.
Yeah, that's, I was about to say.
As people would know.
Yeah.
And I went up to the guy, the bouncer, and I said, "Oh, hey mate, can I come in?" And he goes, No, you can't come in. And I said, "Oh, why?" And he goes, "Well, you should be home in bed." And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Oh, there's too many women in there, they'll fall on you." And I'm like, that would actually be great.
That's what I'm looking for. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And he thought, well, either I was intoxicated, and if I wasn't, I shouldn't be out anyway, because people like me should be, getting their beauty sleep and being at home in bed.
Yeah, and when I'm drunk and tipsy, I tend to wobble a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah. So yeah.
Being in, obviously, one of you have a disability and one of you don't. In the queer community and in the general community, Adam, are you seen as to be like, the leader or the, predominant one in the relationship, and like you're doing like a good deed or something by going out with Con? How do you balance that?
It's funny, when we first got together, obviously people were like, "Oh, well, you're going to take advantage of Con, you're going to be like this." And when people got to know us and our relationship, they soon realised that Connie was my boss, so to speak, and I don't step out of line. So he manages my finances, budgets, what I'm going to wear. So it's really interesting, and that perception is always going to be the case, that an individual with a disability is going to be the weaker one, I guess, in a relationship. But it's very, very reverse to that perception.
Yeah, I find that interesting as well. Like, it's often presumed that if you have a disability, you're going to be disempowered, particularly in the bedroom. And I like playing around with those perceptions. Like, people come home with me and they presume that I'm automatically going to be, quite submissive or feeling bad about my body. And then I'm actually the one with a lot of body confidence. Have you had experiences like that as well?
Both of my partners are able-bodied, so they're like tall guys, and people are like, he's in charge. I'm like, don't assume things. They don't know private things. Just like anyone else. People assume a power balance is not always correct.
Yeah, I do get that.
Yeah.
I do get what you mean, yeah. And it's hard. It's hard within being gay and having a disability. Like, sometimes people don't get what you mean.
Yeah.
And we'll have more of these interesting conversations after this little break.
À la table pour avoir un point bien stable sur lequel laquelle je puisse reposer, ou sur le sol je vais dégorger. Quelqu'un me fait la conversation, je réponds par oui, par non. De toute façon, je m'en fous, le principal c'est de rester debout, mon pote, tiens pas l'alcool. Tu chantes en la bémol, la tête dans le cul.
What are you looking at?
Hi, welcome back to No Limits. And that spunky woman that you just saw rubbing cake so seductively all over her face was Georgia Rose Cranko, and I'm going to totally check her out on Facebook, and you should too. Okay, so now we're going to talk about disability and positive body image and what helps you get and maintain a positive body image in a society which can be pretty negative towards a non-normative body. And for me, I've found it's having a string of really awesome lovers that have really allowed me to set the tone of what I want to do with my body, and disability politics too, of course, and also downloading a lot of spunky images of people with non-normative bodies and kind of putting them all over my walls in my bedroom and making my bedroom a really good, positive, non-normative space so that when I am in there by myself or when I bring someone home, that kind of helps to make it sexy and make it fun and make it positive as well. But what have you guys found that's helped?
Well, the thing that's helped me is going to the gym. And I go to the gym every Wednesday to the recreation centre in Richmond. And that's a cerebral palsy class
Okay.
that specialises for people having cerebral palsy and going there and just doing the exercises, and it really helps me to just get my strength back and get strength and all that in my body.
And who doesn't love a sexy man that goes to gym
Exactly.
in the first place?
Yeah, well, I was going to ask, is it a queer gym? But, you know,
No.
you make it queer by being there.
Yeah, I do.
And what about...
Yeah, well, I guess it's about being around like-minded people, and you know, I tend to stay away from the normal mainstream media, because very rarely do you see people with disabilities, or if you do, they're very cliche versions of them. So it's also good to have with a partner with a disability. I find, I mean, I've been with people who will have a disability with not, but I find, for me, it's a lot more, I feel better about myself because we can kind of appreciate our disabilities, and so we find what's sexy about our disabilities, and we let the other person know, but we've also, you know, enjoy the normal sexiness of people's bodies and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes it can be good to be with someone who also has an impairment, but because I've had lovers that have had impairments and also those that have been able-bodied as well. But I think it depends on where that person is at in terms of their own body image and how they're feeling about their self and their sexuality, because sometimes if they're not feeling so good, it can be really hard to work with that in relationship to them. But that also depends with able-bodied people as well. Like, I think a lot of people assume that if you have a disability, you're going to be feeling pretty bad about yourself and your body image, and sometimes I'll bring a woman home and she'll want to lay there and talk to me about how she feels bad about her belly, and I'm like, this is not why we're awake at 2 a.m. Like, I sympathise with you, but really, have you? What do you find helps?
Kink and sex toys
Yeah.
with adaptations. Because sometimes people say you're not allowed to come in this shop. And I'm like, I'm 35. I'm allowed to purchase all day whoever I want to. And sometimes if they are also not heteronormative or they have a different thinking pattern like autism, Asperger's, they are more open to learning new things. They don't think they know automatically what makes people feel good.
I also think it's important to get to know our own bodies before, well maybe not before, but as much as we can, so we can tell people what we want and what we like about ourselves.
Yeah.
And we have a little comments box where people can put comments about your body, but you kind of get an idea about what looks good on you and what your body is good at and what's your best features and what's not. Because if you don't know, then it can be a bit hard for other people to say, oh, I really like your eyebrows or your hair, where people might, you might be ashamed of your eyebrows. So it's really important to let people know what you like about your body before you get into receiving comments from other people.
Yeah.
Love yourself, love your body.
Yeah.
I have never felt comfortable with my own sexuality. It was always the strange thing that I wanted so badly to explore. Because in order for you to really understand yourself, you have to be able to experience the touch of another person. One time a girl who was a friend of mine gave me an experience that changed how I saw my own sexuality. It was the first time that I felt attracted, but I still had questions. I decided to find out why it is perceived to be the last taboo.
That's all we have time for until next week. But if you want to keep being involved in the conversation, I recommend that you stalk us on Facebook by looking up No Limits TV, and you'll find us via the logo, which is at the back of the screen. Cool. Hope to hear from you. Bye.